Hey YouTube, let's talk references real quick. Obviously, so many of us have cell phones in our hand that can access the internet anywhere, anytime, and that is good. But kind of the old school way of going about it is actually educating yourself by reading and by referencing books from people that are smarter than you are. Okay, I know that in life I've always been taught to, try to surround yourself with people that are more intelligent than yourself, and you're always learning. And, books can be the same way. Someone that would take the time to write a book, get it published, and then that book be continually reissued in different editions year after year after year, that really does mean something, I believe. And right here in front of you, I have Red Books. They're the Whitman Red Books, and a lot of the same people that wrote these years and years ago still have their name on the cover. And these have just simply been updated and reissued. The real common Red Book. This is the 2020 edition. Very, very easy to follow. Has a lot of good pictures in it. It can give you ballpark prices, but something I really like about the Red Book, it's spiral bound. You can, just beat the hell out of it and not worry about it. You can pick these things up that are a year or two out of date for $6 or $7. Not that big of a deal. And you can definitely get populations of coins and how many were minted from them as well. And it can also be a quick reference for a silver or gold spot value if needed. So they are handy to have, but for those first time collectors, if you're watching this, do not rely on books like these to get prices from. Alright, they can definitely get you close. I'm not saying they're bad by any means, because I use these all the time, as do a lot of collectors. But do not let these justify what you pay for coins and currency. So just let these get you in the ballpark and get you close. These are used mainly, I believe, for educational purposes. Real common paper money book. Right here, it's just simply titled "The Guidebook to U.S. Paper Money," and it has great photos of the different series of notes, and it does give you values and the actual signature combinations and what stuff is relatively worth. One thing it does not give you is populations for most notes. These it actually does. You can see star notes, but not all of them will have populations. And I love seeing how many. There's a real iconic educational note. I wish I had a half dozen of those. But yet again, a good reference. There's a lot of good stuff to read, usually in the front of these things, where you can educate yourself kind of about the history of the note and why we do what we do. And these Red Books, I just have 3 of them right here. These are always Christmas gifts from my parents to me or wife. So here's the Guidebook to Morgan Silver Dollars. I've had this a while, and it is well used. But yet again, it is a heck of a reference. It's only about Morgans. That's all it ever talks about. So an example like the 1885 O, it'll actually tell you what. There's the circulation strike mintage, the optical collecting grade. It says MS65. Let's see what they value that at. MS65, $160. That's very, very affordable. Even MS66 at $370 is not bad for an MS66 Morgan, but it is a real common date. You can actually look at proof-like coins and if there actually were any, and some of the die varieties. If you get into the VAMs and everything there's actually books out there just for those. Those books I am not going to go over in this video. There's the guidebook to Lincoln cents, much like the Morgan silver dollars. It does the same exact thing. Gives you a huge history on the Lincoln, just in the wheat pennies. And talks a little bit more about the varieties of them and kind of the history of everything. And the bottom one I have here is the Washington quarters. Not nearly as entertaining as some of the others. Not as old of a series, but still there's a couple key dates through there with the 1932 D and S kind of being the key to the whole series, that they're fun to read about. And there's some really good varieties and weird stuff with the state quarters as well. Other good references that are good to have. Here's Blue Book. And I love going by the Blue Book with values because I think it's more realistic than the Red Book. Okay, you can't see it very well because of my light. But it's just like the Red Book, except it has more of, the prices that you should pay if you want to resell, perhaps, or what the coin, I guess, is technically worth. But yet again, it is a reference. Another type of Red Book, this is a real common one. This is the Southern States currency. And when I first got this book, I think I was Books A Million or Hastings, when Hastings was in business. I found this book. And sorry for the thunder there. We've got quite a storm going. Found this book and thought, this would be a pretty good reference. Didn't use it for a year. And then ended up kind of getting a run of people calling me about obsolete currency and everything. And I found myself using this book all the time. And in this book here, we can just look at the Arkansas Treasury notes. These are really cool, really rare notes to find. But it actually gives you a rarity scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most rare, and it gives you a decent ballpark value. Notice the spread on these from $90 to $250 is quite a spread on value, and I've always based that just on condition. Like an Unk would be $250, and then a standard circulation would be $90. That's how I've always viewed this book. It's put together very well. It has pretty decent pictures. It's got good descriptions in it. And man, if you're into Southern obsolete and state currency, this is really something good to have. And I never thought I would use it as much as I have, but I do, live in one of the southern states, and it's amazing how often this is used. So I am eventually probably going to wear it out, and I don't think it's been updated in a few years edition wise. One of my favorite books to use that is still real new to me, it's 2008. This is the Obsolete Paper Money book from Don Kelly, and man, this is a cool book. Don did a heck of a job here, and on his website you could sign up and pre-order one of these things, and it just it's just full of great stuff. So it goes through all the states and gives you examples of, I guess, pretty near all of the known issues of obsolete currency within the states. It goes, I know my state, I look in my state and I see towns that they're not even on the map any longer. Or, they're a town with 40 people in them, but yet they still had a piece of obsolete currency there, and Don has it cataloged in this book. And, the prices, I think, are very fair. He's a pretty rational dude, and he understands the price scheme as well or better than most people. And he's got a heck of a website and just a heck of a business online. You can just type in Don C. Kelly, go to his website, and check out what he has to offer. And also, this is an older edition of the Kelly book, the 3rd edition. And this is much like the obsolete book I just showed you, except this is national banknotes. And granted, this is a very old edition, but this is a great reference for populations of notes. Prices on some have changed considerably through the years, but then others, they're pretty near the same. But the Kelly book with national banknotes is kind of the standard. You can find any national bank note out there, get you a Kelly book, look it up, and you're going to find the population. You know, you might have one of 9 notes ever discovered, or you might have one of, 11,000. You know, he spent years getting this together, and it's very apparent when you look in this book the time spent. And the last reference I'd like to show you that I think is something good to have. It's obviously glossy on the cover. Let me open it up and see if I can get my camera to focus. There we go. This is U.S. Paper Money book. And these things are kind of expensive to get, but man, they've got everything in them. And they have lots of good pictures, not so much on that page. But if you're like me, you like pictures. And they go through all of, I guess, the standards of each note. And, they'll show you, oh, this is the wide margin. Here's the narrow margin. They'll show you examples, and, you even draw little arrows and kind of show you what they're talking about here. I feel like the prices in this book as well are very, very good. Honestly, if you look at auction records and then you end up looking at what maybe you yourself have paid for some notes, you'll find that in this book they're probably pretty close. I would love to know what other people use as a reference that's not the internet. I know the gray sheet's out there. I subscribe and get the gray sheet and everything, and I know that's what a lot of coin stores, pawn shops, places where you may sell coins and currency, I know that's what they use, and I feel like, man, that's a great reference as well. I might do a video on that sometime also. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I would love to get some feedback from everybody about what you use as a reference, and what is important to you when looking up coins, when looking up currency. Thanks for watching.